Hi, Solara here. I want to talk today a little about the difference between injuring a narcissist ego versus what it is they do to you. Okay? This message came in for me a few weeks ago. I've been meaning to, share it in some way, shape, or form, but I've only just decided to start this platform. So, if you've ever been through narcissistic abuse, which is, by the way, narcissistic abuse is first of all, it's a deeply spiritual experience. That's why many of us have our awakenings through it. But narcissistic abuse is not, it doesn't happen by accident. Our whole world and its systems is built upon narcissistic abuse energy. And so what we see playing out in our relationships and in our family structures is actually just a reflection of a deeper collective wound. We won't go into that right now. But I want to talk about like when you stand up to the narcissist and when you take your power back and when you even give them a taste of their own medicine. And sometimes, because of how you may be wired, you may feel guilty about it, or like you're doing the same thing. Or a lot of the time, the narcissist will tell you that you are what they are. Like they'll try to flip that around on you and be like, no, you're being this and you're being that. And they'll say that everything that you're saying they are, that you are too. And if you are truly a person with an ounce of self-awareness, you probably walk away from that exchange and you start to question that in yourself. And you'd be right to question that in yourself, because unfortunately, the longer we have been subjected to narcissistic abuse, and because it is 1944 on my clock, because we live in a society and in a world and in systems that are based upon this energy to a larger degree, we do have to search our hearts and our souls for all the ways that we contribute to that energy and keeping it alive. So we're right to do that. But the problem is that a lot of us, because we have been programmed to take on the blame and to be containers for other people's wounding and shit, we can fall into the trap of believing that there's something wrong with us, and then we shut ourselves down. And that is kind of the point. This is what the narcissist wants you to do. They want to trap you again in energies of shame and guilt and fear, so that you shut yourself down and you continue to allow them to be assholes, right? But I want to tell you, Spirit gave me a revelation concerning this, and that is that a narcissist works to break your soul. A narcissist works to steal fragments of your soul. A narcissist works to break you down in order that you cannot rise into your power. That is an assault against your soul, okay? What you're doing when you confront the narcissist is bruising their ego. Because most of the time, they think so little of you anyway, that you don't even have the power. You don't have the power to do that to them, to mess with, some of them, their souls have left the building, but even those of them who still have remnants left, you don't have the power because they don't care about you enough for you to be able to do that. You see, the thing about it is that in narcissistic abuse, the narcissist might think that they care about you, they might think that they love you, but oftentimes they're so wounded that they don't even have the capacity. All they know to do is to use you for their own purposes. So when they get upset with you, it's not that they're upset because they've lost your love. They're upset because they've lost control. And that's a very different thing than when you're upset because they've broken your heart. So I want to come out and say that, because a lot of the time we take on that guilt and we think, oh my God, I'm becoming like the narcissist. And it's just like, most of the time, first of all, you might have narcissistic traits. We all do. Like I said before, you might have things that you need to visit within yourself because you have contributed, you've been complicit to the cycle of the energy, and you need to search your own heart and soul to heal so you don't repeat that again. Very true. But the core difference between you, if you're not a narcissist, and if you have been involved with a narcissist, is that ultimately they have the power because you've given it to them. Let's be real also. You know, whether it's consciously or unconsciously, we give our power away. They have the power to actually, you know, break our souls. This is why after narcissistic abuse, people are such a mess, right? But the narcissist is fine. This is why. Because of the way you are and the way you connect, right? And because a narcissist's ultimate goal, and this is what I keep on saying, narcissistic abuse is deeply spiritual in so many ways, even when it comes down to how they harvest energy, which we call narcissist supply, right? Because a lot of them are empty vessels, or they have learned how to harness and harvest energy because they don't know how to do that for self. This is what narcissist supply is. But a lot of them have a God complex, and they like people who they can control. They like people who they can control. And if you think about that from, I'm not saying the narcissist is God, but if we think about that from the standpoint of being, if you are a person who believes in God, then you probably consider God to be the source and the creator of all. And as such, there's very little you probably could do to hurt God, right? But there's a lot that God can do in his and her power to hurt you. And this is kind of the dynamic that plays out with us and narcissists. The reason the narcissist can be a narcissist is to some extent we worship them when we are in that place of disempowerment. And that's what they want from us, right? It's a very twisted, I won't go into the details of all of that right now. I probably will talk about it at a later time. But just know that when you stand up to the narcissist, and even if you give them a taste of their own medicine, you return to sender, if that's what you do, which I highly recommend, you return to sender and you do all of that stuff. Never ever think that what you're doing is the same. It is not. Their ultimate design is to break you so that you cannot rise into your truth and your power, because they like minimizing you, because then they can control you and manipulate you and command your energy. You're just calling them out on their shit, okay? You're bruising their ego. You're not breaking their soul. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I wish you guys the best. If you would like to work with me one-to-one, or you would like to order a Tarotstrology soul mapping report, the information for my website is below. But until next time, be well.